Vanished without a trace. A Phoenix woman walks out of her apartment without her keys, wallet, and phone. At least that's what police reported. Never to be seen again since June 29th, 2022. No clues, no leads, and foul play has never been indicated by investigators. With the 3-year mark here, I'll break down what we know and what her family is feeling, still without answers. What happened to Michelle Bernstein Schultz? I'm Justin Lum, and we are on the record. This is such a mysterious case that we have covered in the past, and we have now approached and met that 3-year mark, the 3-year anniversary of the disappearance of Michelle Bernstein Schultz. And today I have with me Daniela Smith, Michelle's sister. She's also known as Elle, right, to loved ones, and we've talked about this. June 29th, 2022. Let's just start with, it seems like so long ago, and I know it obviously has been very emotional for your family, but that day, as you are now right here at the 3-year mark, I mean, how do you cope with that?
It's very difficult. We never thought that 3 years later we still wouldn't have any answers at all. We are in the same position we were 3 years ago. We don't have any new information. The police never saw her on any video footage. They just have no idea what happened to her. All of her belongings inside the apartment. It just doesn't make sense to us.
This case to me always sticks out, and I keep in touch with you. It has never gone to that high profile level, although it did get some coverage from Dateline nationally. I don't know if it's because there just isn't a lot of information to go off of. So it's sort of been this stagnant status with Michelle. No leads, no suspects, no foul play indicated by Phoenix police. And really, I want to say the last time Phoenix PD posted to social media about this was 2 years ago. You have been the one that has kept this, whether it's on X or I assume your other platforms. You've put the flyer out there regarding your sister. How is that frustrating to you when you feel like you're the only one sounding off?
It is very frustrating. As far as I know, the Phoenix PD only posted her flyer the day that she went missing. And then I had asked the detective if they were going to promote it anymore, and they said they had too many missing people. So that has been heartbreaking that they don't keep those stories alive. And so it is up to the families. And my father and I put up a $10,000 reward, hoping that someone was going to come forward with information, either about her current whereabouts or if something, God forbid, happened to her. We were just hoping that someone with information was going to come forward, and then that didn't happen.
There has been no trace at all. I mean, let's backtrack. We know she has 2 sons, right? 2 young boys, a dog, avid hiker, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mysterious part and the confusion is, why would she just vanish? Why would she walk off into basically like thin air on a summer day in June 2022? Just sort of give people the background on her, because I'm sure people wonder, well, what was going on? Why did this happen?
We don't know, and it doesn't make sense to us. From what I recall, it was 108 degrees that day. She was an avid hiker, but she would have taken her dog hiking. She would have gone to a trail. She would have driven there. It just didn't make sense to us that she would have left her home and her dog inside the apartment, so she didn't go for a walk. She had all of her belongings inside. She was expecting a check from a car accident that she had, and they had told her that the check was going to be ready July 1st. And so it didn't make sense to us that she would have left, the $2,500 at the attorney's office if she would have done this intentionally. She also loved her kids very much, and I really can't imagine that she just abandoned them.
It doesn't make sense. And again, no foul play has been indicated by Phoenix PD. The area where this happened, where she was last seen, 40th Street and Greenway Road in North Phoenix. She lived at this apartment complex called The Tides. She was living with her boyfriend at the time. How long had they been together at that point?
I believe that they had been together about a year and a half.
And from what we know, leading up to her disappearance, she allegedly wasn't feeling good at the time. Tell me about that.
My mom and I found out the next day on the 30th, her boyfriend had texted my mom, and it was a little strange the way he started, something to the effect of, as you know, Elle has been missing since yesterday. And my mom said, no, I don't know. Please, call me. And I don't think he called at that moment. I believe that my mom said to him that she was going to call the police if she didn't hear from him. She ended up calling Phoenix PD and found out that he had filed a missing persons report. Then later on, when they did finally speak on the phone, he had said to her that Michelle said that she wasn't feeling well around 4 p.m., that she was going to take a nap, and he was at work. And so when he came back home, that he had slept on the couch, and that it was the next morning that he opened the door to the bedroom and saw that she wasn't in it, and then saw her belongings in the kitchen. And that's all we know.
And then your last interaction with her,
Mm.
how far back was that
Oh,
before that?
I don't remember the specific day. I was at the tail end of my busy season, but she had been communicating with her friends all day long. And there was one friend in particular who she had been texting with just all day long, back and forth, back and
Yeah.
forth. And he told me that the last text that he received from her was at 4:03 p.m. that day.
So
And
everything was normal. She was talking to her friends.
yeah, and he said that it ended very abruptly, and then he was like, Michelle, Michelle, and she never responded, and I was never able to find anybody who spoke to her after 4:03 p.m. that day.
I'm sure after you guys found out everything, you called, texted, was the phone disconnected?
No, it wasn't disconnected, just no answer, and we went to her apartment complex and put flyers, and
So it's just ringing. Phone's just ringing until
yeah.
it dies.
Hmm.
That is strange, and like you said, no personal belongings, no car keys, left her wallet, everything.
No identification, no bank cards. The police never found that her cards were used again. Uh, just very, very much unlike her. She always had her phone with her. She always had her belongings with her.
She's believed to have been wearing gray hiking sandals from the description I got off Namis.
That
Green highlights
description,
and a blue backpack. That's not.
that description was from, I believe, her boyfriend telling the police certain items that were not there. So I, I don't know with certainty that she was wearing that.
What she was wearing that day. And then a bedazzled cup with bumblebees on
He
it.
said that that cup was missing.
Okay. As far as just the systemic questions on this, do you feel that there was enough urgency off the bat with Phoenix PD? For people who don't know how this process works, what was that like for you and your mom to navigate?
I think that the original detective who worked on the case, I do think she tried. She ended up having to go on sick leave, and then another detective came. He he wasn't the most sensitive. I'll just say that he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't terribly sensitive. The case ended up going to cold case recently, and we were not told what that means. And I tried contacting the cold case detective and didn't hear back. So it's not ideal. I think there's definite room for improvement. I also know that they have a huge caseload. Unfortunately, there are too many missing people in Phoenix, and we are, I believe, one of the states with the highest
Yeah.
rates of missing people. And so I'm sure that they could use more resources. I'm sure that they could probably use a liaison maybe to help them coordinate between law enforcement and the families so that they are constantly keeping up and letting the families know what's happening. I did find out later on that even though the case has gone to the cold case department, I've been told that the detective there still continues to search. And so
That's a good sign. I mean, that's the best you can hope for. When's the last time you spoke to that detective? You haven't spoken
I've
with him?
never spoken to the cold case
Oh,
detective. I was told that I was going to get a call and then never did. And I think I called at least once, but I mean, I haven't heard back. So it's not ideal, but I do know that they have a very heavy caseload.
And I know it's especially hard for your mom.
Yeah.
How does she go about her day to day when trying to, have some normalcy, but yet this is literally weighing on her?
Um, it's a very dark place to be. It's a lot of sleepless nights wondering what happened to her and if she's out there and if she's okay and if I don't know if we're ever gonna know. Um, I think my mom just tries very hard to focus on the children, and I try to create as many happy memories as I can, but it's a very difficult thing to live with.
So really it's hard to spin any positive on this, but there are two boys that are here growing up, and you are trying to, help raise them in any way that you can, help create memories for them. And in the meantime, they are also asking those questions and left with no closure on what happened.
Yeah, I've been told that it's called an ambiguous loss because you don't have any closure, you don't have any answers, and you don't know how long the grief will go on.
And this reward money was
Mhm.
not initially at $10,000 for information leading to finding your sister. Take me through that process and, what it takes to fundraise or whatnot to basically spark this, kind of reignite this and get people's attentions.
We didn't want to do a GoFundMe. I don't know, we're kind of a private family,
Hmm.
so it was just funds that my dad and I put together. It was actually not an easy thing to do. I went to several groups, but because this isn't considered a crime, because the police have not ruled any foul play and it's not considered a crime, I couldn't find any organizations to help me. So I was trying to go to different attorneys, but they didn't have the experience. So I finally found a friend who was able to find a law firm that was willing to do it. I don't know why it was so difficult, but because it had been uncharted territory for many firms, I finally found one that was able to set it up for us. And it's a 3 year, it's in a 3 year trust because we wanted to incentivize someone to come forward in a timely manner. We never thought when we set it up that we were not going to get any leads.
So just to break this down, we have a cold case now, yet no foul play has been indicated by the police department. So we're sort of in this gray area where, you have a cold case, um, and the question is, do investigators and you yourself believe that she's alive? I know that's a terrible thing to have to ask yourself. You just want to find her,
Mhm.
whatever that case is, right? Like, what do you think?
I I want her children to keep holding on to hope. So I just have to be hopeful, and if something did happen to her, then I hope that whoever is responsible is going to face the justice that they would need to face.
Hmm.
If she's out there, I just hope that we will know, and that if it's possible that the children will see her again. But I try very hard not to stay in that dark place, Justin. I want to have hope.
And one thing I noticed that you talk about her in this active voice, I think that is important when you say, is instead of was. It's in your mind, she's out there somewhere. It's just more work has to be done and more leads have to be brought forward to, really put this, you know, find a resolution to this and closure for you all.
Hmm.
Um, Contact Phoenix PD if you have any information. If you have seen Michelle, any tips would be appreciated. Again, a $10,000 reward is on the table for information leading to the location of Michelle Bernstein Schultz. Daniela, thank you so much for your time. I know it's not easy with the 3-year mark right here to talk about this, but you've been the spokesperson for your family, and so I appreciate that.
Thank
Yeah,
you. And thank you for remembering my family.
of course. All right, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications for more of our work here at Fox 10. We'll see you next time on The Record.